Hey guys, it's Anatole from Parcels. The whole band is scattered around the world at the moment, so I'm calling the guys on Zoom and I'm going to ask them some questions about Live Volume 2.
When I met you, the one I need was I'll talk with you know.
Hey boys, how you feeling? Are you ready? Live Volume 2, one word, why?
I mean, when you call something Live Volume 1, it kind of insinuates that there's going to be a second one.
Very good point. Have you guys ever thought about the fact that we've got just as many studio albums as live albums? Like, what's the deal?
We're a solid live band. I think it makes sense for us.
I feel like it could be a rhetoric that we do forever. One studio album, one live album, one studio album. It's the natural rhythm.
I want to push us to the point where we've got more live albums than studio albums.
1,000 times I've heard, oh, that was great. You guys are so much better live than on the record. To the point where I'm like, all right, let's stop making records.
But I feel like that's the most common comment on every single band's YouTube, on every single video. Anytime anyone does a live session, the first comment is, this is so much better than the studio version. It's like, for whatever reason, there's an element of like spontaneity and like liveness that fans and people want, right? It's like, it's so direct and thoughtless, and somehow they connect to it more.
Why was it important to not use the instruments the same way in Live Volume 1?
I would say that there's a tiny bit more rigidity in the playing. I can say that for the bass particularly, and I feel like there is a level of rigidity in what Pat plays, which maybe he didn't play before, which is like trying to emulate quantized electronic dance music, isn't it? There's less humanness in it on purpose, maybe. The bass lines are more straight, and like Jules is not playing disco guitar, he's like trying to emulate like a different sound.
I'd actually say most of the changes come from the guitars. Like the bass is definitely feeling different, and how Jules is playing the guitar is more like a sample or like a filtered synth or something.
Are there any other like live dance records that were an inspiration?
The first thing that came to my head was Todd Terje, because it was, for me, that was one of like the first times that I feel like we all listened to kind of what seemed to be live dance electronic music.
Also, I think like Caribou Live was an influence on like how we approach this. And also, like in our early jams of doing this, it was kind of throwing back to how we used to be super into the Whitest Boy Alive. I think those kind of bands were really influential to us early on, and it was almost kind of like revisiting that style a bit.
There's a couple of new tracks on that record. What's your favorite?
Transcendental was like that kind of early idea that formed into a song that I really feel like captured this new sound for us.
That was one that I thought of too, because I remember jamming on that song early on before any of the tours, and I remember sitting inside the rehearsal room and realizing, oh, we're doing this now. Like it was like a real like moment where I realized it was like the first time that we felt like we were going in this totally new direction, and it took some time to like get my head around. When we got the first thing of Live Volume 2 back, I remember looking at it going, I'm happy with this. Like, this is cool.
Thanks boys, good to see you.
You've been a good host.
Stay tuned, we've got Frank Ocean in next.